What's up, everyone? In today's video, we're going to go over exactly what happened in the stock market today and some of the best setups to watch going throughout the rest of this week. We are set for a very exciting week as we have a very important interest rate decision. We all know inflation's been brutal over the past year, and we have some big news coming out. So make sure to stick with us all the way towards the end of today's video. We have a great one for you guys. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, Mike, the S&P 500 and the overall market had a pretty lackluster day overall. I will say it was pretty good to the upside very early on, and we got some nice movement up. We hit off resistance a couple times and just kind of consolidated. So it wasn't necessarily a bad day, but I will say it was very mixed, especially if we go look at the heat map. The heat map, it's green, but we do have a lot of red still mixed in, like Amazon ended up going red. Some of the banks were in the red. It was crazy enough. A lot of the banks were actually up. Then we have Microsoft down a lot, but some of the tech was green. So it was a very mixed day overall. And I will say it was slightly trending to the upside. So I had a lot of stocks that exploded and a lot of stocks that fell down to the upside. Mike, I know DWAC had some pretty crazy news with Trump today, with him possibly going to jail, which we'll get into in a minute. But I just wanted to highlight that was like the leader to the upside. Tesla had a big move up as well. And some of these other big stocks like Oracle, even some oil plays like ZOM had pretty nice green days. To the downside, we actually had a lot of growth stocks, unfortunately. Like one of our favorites, DraftKings, fell down a lot today. Beyond Meat was down. And even Microsoft, strangely enough, took a big tumble, even though Apple was flying up. So it was just a weird mixed day today.
You know it. And I think ultimately this week will be dominated by the economic events that we have scheduled. So on Wednesday, we've all been waiting for it. We have another federal interest rate decision. And what's very interesting is that the federal or the market, you can say, is actually pricing in a chance of there being no rate hike at all. So on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, you have to be ready. It's going to be hands down the most important hour of the week, where essentially we have a 22% chance of there being no rate hike at all. And there's around a 78% chance, you can say, of there being a 25 basis point rate hike. But we're going to have Jerome Powell speak. He's the chair of the Federal Reserve. And when he talks, it's extremely important as he has a giant influence on the U.S. economy and the stock market.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say, Mike, we will be live in Discord if anybody wants to join up and talk about it during that time as well on Wednesday. It's going to be a crazy hour to hour and a half as we head into close there at the end of the day. So guys, join the Discord. The link's down below. It'll be a really fun time in there. And Mike, like you said, that's going to really dominate a lot of the price action today. And SPY's been over this week, and SPY's been kind of in a channel here over the past couple weeks. I'm wondering if maybe we kind of stick within this channel, with the upper area being around 394 to 396 and the lower range being around 384 to 386. So I'm kind of curious if we end up staying between here until this big event. This big event could really make us swing in one direction or the other, though. I will say, Mike, we're kind of also straddling right on that key trend line that we were bouncing below all of 2022. It seems like right now we're kind of straddling it and moving back up. So we'll have to see if maybe this event can be that big catalyst that pushes us back to the upside.
Yeah, we'll see. And then also another thing that's going to be worth paying attention to is earnings, as always. So what do we have on the schedule for earnings?
Yeah, pretty fun. Tomorrow we have Nike in after hours along with GameStop. Those two are going to probably be the biggest ones of the week, or I would say probably the more popular ones. We do have Chewy on Wednesday in after hours as well. That one's one of our favorites. And I know a lot of people look at Chewy also, in General Mills on Thursday. Other than that, we don't really have too much Friday there. The main thing is going to really be Nike tomorrow for me, Mike. That's going to be a big stock. I know it's a pretty big retailer. And a lot of times, for example, like in times of economic issues, Nike could go in any direction. So I'm a little bit confused here on what Nike's going to do. And I'm hoping that they report some good numbers just to, show the world that, the economy's doing all right now, even though inflation's super high and stuff. Hopefully they have some good sales numbers.
Yeah, and speaking of like macroeconomic issues, there was some news of even more layoffs today. What's going on?
Yeah, terrible. We saw some news come in about Amazon laying off 9,000 more workers in addition to cuts that they already had in place. So they sent that memo out to their staff today. Sounds pretty insane, Mike. More job cuts out of a huge company, which already had announced a lot that affected more than 18,000 staffers. So that's a lot of workers. I know Disney actually had some news today as well. They said that they plan to lay off 4,000 people as part of their 7,000 person job cut that they were also doing. Apparently, they're going to have 3,000 cuts remaining to come from open positions that will be eliminated, apparently. So that sounds good. But I don't know, Mike. Some of these stocks like Amazon and Disney, sometimes stocks pop up with these types of job cut news. Today was not very good. I will say Amazon took a pretty big dip and Disney actually moved up a little bit. So it was weird to see him kind of contrast there. Although Amazon made the announcement while Disney was kind of already acting on their announcement.
Gotcha. Yep. All right. And then another thing that we definitely have to talk about is what's going on with DWAC. So this is Truth Social. This is basically Trump's social media company. There has been a ton of rumors over the past couple of days with Trump possibly being arrested. So this is coming directly from Trump. And what's interesting is that, his stock, DWAC, is actually booming off of this news as he made the announcement on Truth Social. So, obviously you would think that given such a crazy announcement, there'd be more engagement on that platform. And, the stock's booming in a pretty good way. Volume is very, very strong. The price action's amazing. And I'll be honest, Tom, I am looking at DWAC to the upside over the next couple of days. We don't usually see this type of momentum, volume, and price action out of this stock.
Yeah, exactly. And this thing could have some pretty big moves. In the past, this thing's ran off of news a few times. If we go to that daily chart, this stock is a big fan of gapping up sometimes. So keep it on the radar. I think there could be some really fun moves with this over the next few days. And, with the whole situation with Trump, it's pretty crazy. He might go to jail. Apparently his attorney, Michael, or his lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 to keep quiet. And apparently this is not illegal, but whenever he reimbursed his lawyer for this, apparently this is falsifying business records, which is a misdemeanor. And then they're also saying that some of this could break election laws and it could end up being actually a felony. It's in some arguments here. So I don't know. It's not really cut and dry. There's a lot of black and white stuff with this. There's little precedent for a case like this as well. So we don't really know what's going to happen. And I will say a lot of people, Mike, have been pretty worried about if Trump goes to jail, the whole market could start to fall and everything like that. To me, I don't think that would happen, especially maybe for a second or something like that. But I don't think it would really cause too much volatility. But it'll definitely, I think, cause DWAC to move.
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely a weird catalyst, to say the least. It's definitely not something you hear every day. So either way, I'll have a close eye on DWAC over the next couple days. The price action is really solid right now. And, as Tom just said a couple minutes ago, this stock kind of has a wild history, especially when it comes to news and gap ups and all that good stuff. Most of the time it just slowly fades down. But, if there's some decent news, this stock does have a really good history of some crazy I guess you could say jumps in both directions.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, they've been to the downside a lot lately. DWAC hasn't really gained too much traction. So it's not like we're out here saying oh, we love DWAC to buy and hold forever. It just could be awesome for the next few days and maybe even few weeks if this momentum keeps up. I will say, Mike, Truth Social as a platform to me just doesn't even compare to Meta or Snapchat or Twitter even or anything like that. It's not bad, but it's not really I'll say this, it was a little bit overhyped at the beginning. And if we go to the daily chart, the chart kind of shows that, it had that big explosion, then started kind of coming back to reality.
Without a doubt. So Tom, going into tomorrow, what setups do you have your eyes on?
Yeah, so there's some pretty big ones. I will say ZOM is one of my favorites for tomorrow. One of the stocks that actually ran up today in a pretty big way. Big resistance here right around 102.50. So if we break that up, I will be watching for a nice push to the upside as it seems like gold, oil, and just all these commodities are starting to pop back.
Good stuff. Yeah, and speaking of gold, a stock I'm watching pretty closely tomorrow is GDX. So you guys heard us talking about GLD a ton over the past couple days, which follows gold prices. GDX is a little bit different though. GDX follows gold miners, which move pretty similar to gold prices, but kind of different. So gold does whatever it wants, especially compared to the overall market. A lot of times it's kind of like a safe haven for, when shit hits the fan, people buy gold, and we've seen gold prices explode over the past couple of weeks. And some people look at gold prices and they're like, you know what, they're kind of already, like I don't want to be buying in just yet. I'd rather wait for a pullback. And that's where I look to GDX. It moves pretty similar to gold, but it's not up as much yet, and it has that safe haven type of potential. So overall, I'm watching GDX to the upside, not necessarily for tomorrow, but for tomorrow and the next couple days and even the next couple weeks. Gold tends to move a little bit slower than, let's say, your average tech stock. But either way, I do think the setup is pretty good on GDX, just like it is on, just gold and silver itself right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of volatility, and GDX, that percentage-wise has some pretty big moves from that recent low down here where it double bottomed around 2670 to where it is now. It's up like 16% in just a couple weeks. So that's not bad for a stock that follows gold, of course, because if we go to GLD, let's see how much GLD is actually up from the recent low to the high. It's up only 9%. So you can tell, you'd make around like an extra 7% there. So looks good, Mike. GDX is definitely one of my favorites as well for the next few days, especially with all these commodities going crazy. There's been a lot of negative price action a lot lately. Today, I noticed Palantir actually did a lot better than a lot of the other growth stocks, which I thought was interesting and a pretty nice thing to see on a day where like DraftKings and Chewy and a lot of other stocks were down. This stock is actually up quite a bit, kind of testing the 810 resistance. So if we're able to break above like 813 or 815 in the morning, I will start to watch Palantir to the upside. We've been really consolidating here for a while, and I really want to see a nice breakout, maybe back up to 830 or even a nice test of 850 would be a good target.
Good stuff. I also like that setup. So I will also keep a close eye on this one as well. But with that being said, Tom, it is now time for the momentum plays. With the first one, we have Neo to the upside.
Yeah, good old Neo here. What a good move by them today. Go ahead and make them break above $8.80 intraday and maybe watch for a push up to around 9 or higher.
Boom. With the next one, we have Palantir also to the upside.
Oh yeah, you can't forget about Palantir. I already mentioned them, but let's go ahead and make them break 813 or 815 right there.
All right, and with the last one, we have Nvidia, but to the downside.
Yeah, poor Nvidia here. They've just been stuck up here at the top. If they end up breaking down below 257, watch for some puts to the downside. This stock has been really consolidating here around 258.
There we go. All right, so you guys heard Tom. We have that downside level on Nvidia. If it breaks below that, we like it to the downside. And then don't forget about Palantir and Neo and their levels for day trades to the upside tomorrow. But it is now time for the big money trade of the day. We had $3.26 million go into DoorDash. Everyone knows DoorDash, but more specifically, it was $3.26 million into the DoorDash 60 strike call options that expire on January 19th of 2024. So basically with this setup, it's a bet that DoorDash will rise going forward. The higher DoorDash goes, the more millions that this trader will make. Looking at DoorDash right now, it's still pretty oversold on the daily chart. Right now it's lingering right around $60 a share, and it has highs that it made back towards the end of 2021 up around $257 a share. So, overall it's oversold on a technical basis, and it's not a bad setup overall.
Yeah, it's not. And I really like how DoorDash is bouncing a lot down here around some of these big supports, down around like 52 to 56. We're seeing a lot of price action back to the upside around this area. And in the past, we've also seen a lot of buyers coming in around this level. So I like this play up. I think that this is quite a bit of money, and there's a lot of time on it too. So guys, it's out to January of 2024. It's a little bit longer of a play. but I actually like that in this case because, DoorDash might sit down here for a couple months and just consolidate and then finally start to get some big breakouts back to the upside. So I do like this as far as, for the next couple months, these guys might just sit on this and not really have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely an interesting setup either way. $3 million is nothing to ignore. So keep DoorDash as a close watch on your guys' radar going forward. Definitely an interesting setup. But if you guys are into day trading or just short-term options trading, definitely check this out. Today, our bots did a pretty damn good job. The first alert from today was actually a Meta 190 strike put option. It was alerted by our bot at $277 each. It popped all the way up to $340 each. The next one was with Tesla call options. That one was alerted at $460 each. It popped up to $645 each. And then with the last one, we had Apple call options that were alerted at $186 each. They popped all the way up to $258. So if you're looking for daily options alerts from our bot, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Our bots are awesome now, and they're just gonna get better over time. We have some awesome new updates and features and even more bots coming. And as that happens, the prices will just rise over time. So definitely check it out. We have some awesome software that you won't find anywhere else. And we're adding a lot of exciting things coming soon. So definitely check it out. It's that first link in the description and the comments down below. Not only will you get access to these bot plays, but you'll also get access to the multi-million-dollar, trades that we talk about in every single nightly video, but you'll get access to them on the same day the trade is made, and same day the trade is made before the market closes, in addition to other swing plays. So definitely check it out. But with that being said, going into tomorrow, you could say it's Powell Eve. Do you have any other last minute stocks or setups on your radar?
Yeah, I will say with Powell Eve ongoing, it could go either way. The market might start to consolidate a little bit in anticipation of this event. We might start to reject off of this upper range at 394 to 396 and start to stay within our range here. Or, the market might start to try to price in what Powell's going to say and what they're going to do with the interest rates. It's pretty crazy. We'll get into it a little bit more tomorrow night, but I can't believe that there's even a chance of zero rate hike right now. That is just insane to me, especially given the high number on inflation still. We're still way too high for no rate hike in my opinion, but I don't know. Some people argue that all the banks failing could definitely change things over the next couple days.
We will see. It's going to be exciting either way. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll see our videos recommended to you more often. And we also want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Tick, in the Stocked Up Discord. You've been in the chat for, you're very new to the chat, and you've been super active lately, and that's awesome. So definitely make sure to keep it up. We love to see that type of activity. It's awesome to have you so far, so definitely keep it up. Last but not least, like I said, if you guys are interested in daily options alerts, check out that first link in the description in the comments down below. And besides that, let's have an amazing week.